Hello, my name is Peter Parfit. Welcome to New Brick Workshop, and this very exciting video because we have a new Parf product being launched today. Now, if you imagine you've created your custom track saw cutting station or your new MFT3 top and you've used the Parf Guide system, and after you've drilled all those 20mm holes, you think, gosh, I wish I'd had another set of holes there or there, but because you've drilled all the 20mm holes, you can't go back and locate your Parf sticks, your rulers, and do some more. And lots of people have asked me over the years that the Parf Guide system has been about, they said, what happens if I've drilled all those 20mm holes? How do I go back and do an offset hole or whatever it might be? Well, here's the solution. It's terribly simple and it's not expensive. This is the Parf Revision Dog. It's a very simple dog. It's got a 3mm hole in the middle, 20mm diameter here, and it's got the chamfered edge. And the idea is that you can push this down into a 20mm hole and then relocate your rulers so that you can then create more 3mm holes and therefore more 20mm holes. The key criteria that I gave Axminster is that this must not be expensive. And so they're going to be sold in sets of 3, and when it goes up on the website, I think you'll be very pleased with the price. Now, the revision dogs are made of aluminium in order to keep the cost down, and the rationale was that because they're not going to be used a huge amount, then aluminium would be more than adequate for their intended purpose. Now let me take you through a typical scenario on my mobile bench top. You can see that I've got some 20mm holes drilled, but not that many. Now, when I created this, I did have a little bit of foresight and I did leave some 3mm holes undrilled, but let's try and ignore those for the purpose of this video. Right, so the whole thing is about how do I reposition a Parf stick, or maybe 2 Parf sticks, so that I can then go about drilling more 3mm holes. Well, I've got a hole here nearest to me, push in a revision dog there. I've got a hole here, push in a revision dog there. I take 2 of the 3mm pins that come with the Parf Guide system and making sure that the collar on the pin, the 6mm collar on the pin, is engaged. Put that one there, and I do exactly the same at this end. Make sure that's engaged. And so I've now repositioned this ruler using the 20mm holes and the Parf Revision dogs in order to get that ruler exactly where I want it. I could now take the 3mm drill in its guide and I could start now drilling 3mm holes down the line here. And I could also do offset holes as well if I wished. So that's that. Now, supposing we now want to put some 3mm holes between that 20mm hole and this 3mm hole here. Well, it's quite easy. Put third Parf Revision Dog in there. Because we've drilled those 3mm holes all the way down there, wherever we want them, we don't actually need this Parf stick to be there anymore. So I move that out of the way. You see I've got a 3mm hole there, and I've got the Parf Revision Dog just there. Pop that in there, and the other one is going to go in. Yeah. Notice I lift the ruler up so that I can ensure that I've engaged that 6mm boss at the end. That's in. And now I can go along and drill as many of these 3mm holes as I need. But do remember, when you come to drill the 20mm holes, there must be at least 3 3mm holes. One where you're going to put the 20mm drill, because that 3mm hole provides the pilot for the 20mm drill. And 2 others, either one there and there or one there and there, so that you can register the 20mm drill guide. So do remember when you're drilling these 3mm holes to have enough of them there so that the 20mm drill guide can be located. Now there is a slightly odd situation where you need to join up the two rulers on the 6, 8, 10 scheme that we had at the very origin of producing one's top. So I'm going to put one of the revision dogs in each of the 3 holes that are required to set up the 6, 8, 10 that was originally here for the creation of this top. It's dead easy here. In goes that pin. That's in. Very easy here. In goes that pin. We now need to put a pin in here. In order to go through 2 rulers, one of these pins only has enough of a collar to go through 1 ruler and to secure it. So there it is in the collar there, but there's no collar going further on. But if you were to take the 3mm drill guide, which has got the long collar here, which can go through 2 rulers, that's that. Those are now located. And you could, if you really wanted to, you could take that 3mm drill guide, take your 3mm pin, and you'll notice that it goes down in there very snugly and will stick out the end. So that end piece could go into the revision dog. That collar can go through 2 rulers. So you can set that up as you would have done in that 6, 8, 10 formation. And to get that 3mm pin out, just take the drill and gently push, like so, just enough to get it out, and there it is. Now let me remind you, because the Parf Revision Dog has got the chamfer collar, they must be pushed down into holes which have got a chamfer, and therefore you need to either use your chamfer cutter or use a chamfer bit in your router to make that small chamfer at the top of those holes. And my final scenario is if we're trying to produce something very much like an isometric top. So I've got my 2 rulers located at that end, and I now need to make a hole here. Well, it's jolly simple. You only need the 2 revision dogs. You need the 3mm drill guide, which has got the extra wide collar. Locate that in there. So that's held in there. Those are firm. I can now drill this. Stick a pin through there like so. I could then drill the holes along that 60-degree line. I could then remove that, stick the pin in this ruler and drill the holes along that 60-degree line, and you've got the makings of a isometric MFT3 top. You can use this for doing additional offset holes. You can do it for all sorts of things. So there you have it, the Parf Revision Dogs in sets of 3, available now from Axminster Tools and Machinery. Many thanks for watching. Take care. Bye-bye.